Hello, I am the Irish guy, and no, I didn't get Oasis tickets either. To be fair, they would probably prefer there wasn't this creepy pumpkin chewing his scarf in the crowd. But lads, transfer deadline day is over. The most stressful day for panicky football chairman. And so today, let's grade every Premier League club's transfer deadline day business. And lads, I applaud you for spending this evening here with me, instead of choosing to pay £10 to watch Donny Simpson get beat up by a nerd. Right, let's go. Arsenal A. Raheem Sterling plays for Arsenal. I'm sorry, I'm highly confused. This one looks weird on my eyes. Sterling is someone who has been linked with Arsenal for years and years and years.
Raheem Sterling, I didn't think for 1 minute about joining Arsenal.
Yeah. That was October 2017. To think that he has finally found his way to the Emirates. What's even more bonkers is that Arsenal have actually signed him while he's still in his 20s. I know, it doesn't feel like it, because he's been playing Premier League football since 2012. It really does feel like he should be a wheezing 35-year-old with a waning metabolism, where even looking at a donut makes him balloon up like a pregnant penguin. But no, he's only 29. And Arsenal managed to secure him on loan? What? What a move for him. Absolutely kicked out of mid-table Chelsea by Pep Guardiola's former assistant, and now he's been signed by another one of Pep Guardiola's former assistants, and has been thrown back into a title race, and he's still on his massive £325,000 a week wages, with Chelsea still having to pay over 60% of that every week. This is him absolutely landing on his feet. Enzo Maresca making up his mind that he was about as useful as a sausage roll dipped in pig poo. That was the best thing that could have ever happened to Sterling. A front three of Saka, Havertz and Sterling, with the likes of Martinelli, Jesus and Trossard, hungry trying to squeeze themselves into the starting 11. This is a mouth-watering attack, and arguably the best attack in the league. Also, they pocketed £18 million for Aaron Ramsdale, potentially £25 million if Southampton somehow stay up, and they've replaced him with Bournemouth's 35-year-old former Juventus and Barcelona goalkeeper Neto on a season-long loan. This is Arsenal's best transfer deadline day since they signed Ozil. Aston Villa D. Yeah, Villa haven't really done anything on transfer deadline day. I'll give them a D because I think they should have been opportunistic and tried to at least make offers for the likes of Sancho or Sterling, or even try to rescue Ivan Toney. So yeah, for a Champions League side, I'll just give him a D. Bournemouth B+. Look, Bournemouth didn't really do much other than chuck a bunch of deadwood out on loan. Out went 21-year-old Canadian forward Daniel Jebison, only just signed from Sheffield United, but clearly Andoni Iraola has decided from watching this former wonderkid train that he's actually a walking cabbage, and he's sentenced him to a year at Watford instead. And also, they've gotten rid of 26-year-old Welsh centre-back Chris Mepham, giving him to Sunderland on loan. Yeah, leaving a warm seaside village to now relocate to a town of zombies and seagull vomit. That poor man. But finally, Neto is gone. Someone who was Bournemouth's #1 up until 3 days ago. And now he's just a modern day Matt Ryan, having just gone from mid-table Premier League #1 to a lonely sub-goalie at Arsenal. But you know what? Considering this move only happened because the Cherries managed to secure the most expensive goalkeeper to ever live. Someone with 2 Champions League medals rolled up in a sock under his bed. Someone who a year ago was playing every week for Real Madrid. Yeah, this business is good. Brighton E. Alright. Selling Billy Gilmore to Napoli for just £30 million, I'm shocked. Lads, there has been interest from Antonio Conte for weeks. That man has been sniffing around the Scottish rugrat for months, but I thought, after starting last week's win over Manchester United, that meant this midfielder had decided to stay. But no, Conte has strangely managed to sign 2 Scots on deadline day. For Gilmore and McTominay's initiation song in Naples, they're probably gonna get up on stage, looking like a Glaswegian Jedward, and awkwardly mumbling, I would walk 500 miles. Honestly, I hope the Napoli Chiefs had made sure to stock up the fridge with plenty of iron brew, and of course a nude painting of Susan Boyle in the VIP lounge. But look, I get the appeal for Gilmore to join a legendary club with a stadium literally named after Maradona, but for Brighton to receive just £12.5 million for a top quality 23-year-old midfielder, I think this is stupid business, especially considering his replacement Matt O'Reilly is injured. I don't get it. What, did Gilmore accidentally run over Hurstler's cat? Brentford F. Is this it? I realised that Ivan Toney only had 1 year left on his Brentford deal, but a few months ago we were practically hearing the Bees boasting that they would be getting a £100 million paycheck when he was eventually sold. Oh, Toney was going to be a British record departure, right? And he himself was going to join a club which would be challenging for the Champions League. Lads, he spent his ban going on podcasts, confidently predicting that he would return better than ever, that he wants to test himself at the highest level, and eventually take Harry Kane's England spot. Yeah, sorry, Tony, but your England career is now over after after 6 games. He's just Jordan Henderson himself with a £40 million move to Al Ahly. I mean, come on, Leeds United made more money selling Calvin Phillips, and he's turned out to be a walking potato. Brentford have only sold this England international centre forward for only slightly more than what Newcastle sold Andy Carroll for 13.5 years ago. Sorry, Brentford, but this is poor. Chelsea B+. Lads, I've been tipping Chelsea to sign Jadon Sancho for years. I can't remember what videos I said it on, but if anyone knows, let me know. I've repeatedly said that he was a boyhood Chelsea fan. Come on, we've all seen the deleted tweets. I have always said he would absolutely flourish at Stamford Bridge. And yes, I know their squad is utterly crammed with ballers right now, but I'm sorry, having Man City honed academy graduates like Sancho and Palmer, two absolute utter mavericks who need freedom to express themselves on the pitch. Maresca, don't you dare try and overcomplicate this with tactics. Just let them play. Sancho is so much better than the forgotten lump of seaweed he's been at Old Trafford. The fact he's 24 years old and hasn't actually represented England in over 3 years is nothing short of a disgrace, because he is an utter talent. For Chelsea to beat off competition from Juventus and PSG to land this kid, I'm telling you now, after Palmer, Sancho will become the best signing of the Bowley era. He's going to be utter filth, and I feel vindicated because I've saying Chelsea should buy him for ages. And every time I did, Chelsea fans would respond in the comments as if I've just told them to kiss a pig. Look, I do still rate Sterling, but if he wasn't going to play, then Chelsea have absolutely done the right thing in loaning him out, because a monster ego like him, trapping him into training sessions with the under-23s. That would not have ended well. It would be like telling an egomaniac pop star like Justin Bieber that he'd have to cancel his tour dates, and instead his life would now just be dressing up in a clown costume and singing his awful tunes at children's birthday parties. No. Lads, by mid-November, Sterling would have probably stormed into Maresca's office to take a dump in his shoe. They've also loaned Armando Broja to Everton and Trevoh Chalobah to Crystal Palace, which is good news. They needed to find babysitters for those moldy leftovers. This was just the equivalent of Chelsea taking out the bin before their mum comes over for Sunday tea, because you don't exactly want the stench of last week's pizza and cat weave ruining the ambiance. Crystal Palace D. Crystal Palace had a very busy deadline day. The best news was keeping Mark Guehi, I guess, standing firm to reject a potential £70 million offer from Newcastle. But is it really good news? Because next summer, this England international centre-back will have just 1 year left in his deal. Sure, you've emotionally blackmailed him to stay by giving him the captaincy. Ain't no way he was quitting after that. It would have been about as tactful as kicking a nun in the groin. But I can't help but feel that if he does not sign a new deal, you will regret not taking the cash. Don't forget, Palace rejected Everton £70 million plus 2 players for Wilfried Zaha 5 years ago, and just finished 14th, 12th, 11th, and then they just lost their best ever player for free. So keeping Guehi isn't the win you think it is. And splurging £30 million on Arsenal striker Eddie Nketiah, a 25-year-old striker who has never scored more than 5 Premier League goals in a single season. That is an awful transfer, but also they brought in Nottingham Forest USA #1 goalie Matt Turner on loan. That should be alright. And spending £18 million on Wolfsburg's 24-year-old French centre-back Maxime Lacroix, that's a decent replacement for Joachim Andersen. But you've also brought in the signing of centre-back Chalobah on loan from Chelsea. That's it. You've signed Guehi's replacement. It's him. And yet you still kept Guehi. This doesn't make sense. The arrival of Chalobah meant you could cash in on Guehi. But no, you've talked yourselves out of a £70 million payday. Everton C-. Yeah, it's 5 years later and Everton are still getting involved in transfer sagas dictated by Wilfried Zaha. Because the Ivorian moved to Lyon from Galatasaray, the Toffees thought they could sneakily take advantage by buying 20-year-old Ghanaian winger Ernest Dumois, who'd only just joined Lyon a month ago. Yeah, that fell through, so they've just settled for Lyon's defensive midfielder Orel Mangala instead. Again, someone they literally just bought from Nottingham Forest. And after stealing Ireland centre-back Jacob Bryan out of Lyon a few weeks ago, it's like Everton are just obsessed with raiding that club. But no, they've also gone and pinched Broja on loan from Chelsea, a like-for-like Calvert-Lewin-esque lump who is destined for the bench. Fulham B. Fulham have only done one thing on deadline day, signing Reece Nelson on loan from Arsenal, reuniting this exciting winger with his Gunners Academy buddy Smith Rowe. Look, he's a quick, pacey and skillful winger who does turn 25 before Christmas, so he's not a child anymore. He needs to seize this loan spell and do something with his career. So yeah, solid last-minute deal. Ipswich Town D. I'm in shock. Ipswich Town haven't done anything on deadline day. The busiest Premier League team in August. They didn't actually get anything done, but they didn't really need to. I think they've shopped enough. Leicester City C-. Yeah, the only thing Leicester City did on deadline day was, sign a much-needed striker. But it was Austin Edouard. Look on the face of it. He is a former PSG centre forward. That sounds cool. But no, he never played a single game for them and has been a disappointing Crystal Palace flop. Don't forget, when he initially arrived as a big money Celtic goal machine, he did score just 28 seconds into his Palace debut and then scored another one 5 minutes later. He looked like he was going to be a mid-table goal machine. Nah, he's mostly been a blunt pencil. And so for Steve Cooper to wrap up this loan deal at the last minute, I don't know, he scored about 5 goals? Liverpool F. Liverpool did nothing on deadline day, except loan out a few youngsters and reject a Nottingham Forest bid for Ireland goalie Caoimhín Kelleher. But unlike Ipswich, who didn't really need any more signings, Liverpool did. They should have signed someone. Sorry, but F. Man City C. Yeah, Man City haven't done anything either, but again, they weren't supposed to do much anyway. Their squad is fine. Man United B. Look, this has been a mixed bag on deadline day. Look, I've said I think Sancho is a potentially super player, so just casually loaning him out to a European rival in Chelsea, that will turn out to be monumentally dumb. I thought he and Ten Hag were cool now. What happened? Did Sancho steal some chicken wedges off his plate? You've agreed to sell him next summer for just £23 million as well? Lads, people were talking about him at Borussia Dortmund being a potential £100 million bargain back in 2020. £23 million is a joke fee for Sancho. I mean, that's something Liverpool were paying for Lazar Markovic 10 years ago. I also think losing a useful Fellaini-esque squad player like Scott McTominay for just £21 million. He is a homegrown 27-year-old who chipped in with 10 goals from midfield last season. Selling him now, I don't think it's that clever. But I've already said, okay, paying £50 million for PSG's monster defensive midfielder Manuel Ugarte. That is going to be one of the signings of the summer. Newcastle F. Newcastle were supposed to be busy on deadline day and completely messed it up. Failing to get Gehi over the line was a blow. But also, to not have a plan B, to not sign another centre-back instead, that is just stupid business. All that happened in the closing hours was a panicky last-minute £35 million bid for Forest Anthony Elanga. Essentially just trying to give Forest back the same paycheck they'd given Newcastle for Elliot Anderson. Look, the creative suite is a talent, but he's a right winger, not a centre back. The only thing they actually managed to accomplish on deadline day was cancelling Ryan Fraser's contract. Just a complete mess. Nottingham Forest A+. Nottingham Forest have had a spectacular day. In comes Benfica's 23-year-old Brazilian centre-back Morata, but add James Ward-Prowse from West Ham on loan. This is one of the signings of the summer for Nuno Santo's Route 1 set-piece heavy Forest side. To now sign arguably the best free kick taker in the world, a 29-year-old Ward-Prowse who's been a solid Premier League midfielder for over 10 years. This is a stunning sign. Don't forget, he was a sparkling £30 million West Ham buy just last summer. This is a central midfielder who scored 46 goals in his last 6 Premier League seasons. This is an absolutely brilliant signing, lads. Having both Gibbs White and Ward-Prowse in the same midfield, this is sizzling work. I'm sorry, but for that alone, and the fact they managed to keep Elanga, they've had the best deadline day out of everyone. Southampton B-. Look, I said that Southampton had the worst transfer window of every Premier League club, yes, but their deadline day work was decent. I know that Aaron Ramsdale is usually a relegation curse at these sort of teams, but he is still a quality purchase for £18 million. They've also snapped up plump chicken Ryan Fraser from Newcastle for free, and strangely signed forgotten Ivorian winger Maxwell Cornet on loan from West Ham. I know what you're thinking, is he still a thing? I don't know, I'll give him a B-. Tottenham C. Yeah, Spurs didn't do anything either, but they didn't really need to. Next, West Ham C. Look, I said that West Ham won the transfer window, but on deadline day, you basically replaced Ward-Prowse with PSG's Carlos Soler on loan. Soler is a clearly technically gifted Spanish midfielder, but he is a similar age to JWP, and that one is Prem proven. This guy is not. I just think Ward-Prowse was worth keeping instead. Wolves A. Yeah, I said the Wolves had an abominably bad transfer window too, but to be fair, their deadline day, like Southampton's, has been good. I do think snapping up Fluminense's star midfielder, Brazil international Andre for just £20 million. That is an exciting coup. And they've also signed Palace goalkeeper Sam Johnstone for £10 million, which is a decent squad addition. And they've also snapped up Portuguese whiz kid winger Carlos Forbes on loan from Ajax. Overall, a rotten window, sure, but a pretty good deadline day. Anyway, that's Stephen. What do you think? Let me know what do you think. Let me know in the comments. How did you think your deadline day went? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to connect, share, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.